Good morning, and welcome to Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist in-person and online worship. Whether this is your first time here or you've been coming for years, we're glad you are here. My name is Bill Burge, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm serving as this morning's worship associate. We are a growing community that transforms lives through the power of love. Our mission calls us to celebrate diversity, to encourage spiritual growth, and to promote social responsibility while we care for the earth. Welcome to those at home who are joining us on Zoom today. Anyone attending for the first time, please go to our website and fill out the welcome card so we can stay in contact. Now just a few announcements. It is the tradition of our A2U2 pagan group to collect canned goods at the annual winter solstice service to donate to the food pantry. Please bring an item with you next Sunday. We hope you join us on Christmas Eve, either in person or on Zoom. We will have 2 services this year, an all ages lessons and carols service at 5 p.m. and a more traditional service at 7 p.m. with choir music and Rev Tara preaching. Both services will be recorded, but Zoom live stream will be available only at 5 o'clock. The Friday afternoon Call for Action group has assembled take-home kits for writing postcards of thanks to the 6 members of Congress who bravely participated in the video that speaks out to support our military and intelligence community. Pick up a kit on the social justice table and take a few moments to thank them for their courage and leadership. Also, the Giving Tree has additional tags today, so if you would like to donate a gift to a family promised child this holiday season, stop by the social justice table and see Sonia. Now, we invite you to take this opportunity to silence your cell phones so that we can all be fully present. After the service, please grab a cup of coffee or tea and stay for conversation, or head down to the end of the hall to join the brown bag lunch. Those on Zoom can stay on and connect with one another. Now, let us center our hearts and minds with the singing of the bowl.
Good morning, snow warriors. It's good to see you. I wondered if it would just be me and Dale. Sorry, Dale. It looks like one of you sled here, too. I'm Reverend Tara. My pronouns are they and them. I serve as the minister of this congregation. Welcome. It's good to be together on this 3rd Sunday of Advent, and tonight at sundown, the first night of Hanukkah. We began this season of holy days and nights 3 weeks ago with our month-long theme, What Do You Fear? We explored the historical context for the Christmas story and drew parallels between living with hope in the fearful time of King Herod and in the times we find ourselves in today. Last week, we shifted our reflection to a contemporary manifestation of hope in the face of struggle and fear, reflecting on the connections we are building with ICE detainees at the Cumberland County Jail and how we hold hope for and with one another and allow others to hold hope for us. Today, we turn our attention to the sacred story of Hanukkah, the miracle of the light that did not go out. Sometimes saying yes to life's invitation to take a risk, to light the lamp, the risk of living our values out loud in the world, sometimes it fills us with fear. We might fear that we're not enough, or that we're alone, that no one will listen, that we don't have enough oil. And yet, even in that fear, we are called. We are invited to live fully into who we are created to be, and assured that we do not move forward through our fear alone. Join us in celebrating the courage we each have as we answer love's call, as we light the lamp, knowing it will not be enough, but still we light it. After the time for all ages, and our children and youth are invited down the long hallway with Aaron and Emily for the filming of this year's Nativity Lego video. Yeah, which will make an appearance at the 5 p.m. service. Babies and toddlers are welcome here in the sanctuary or with nursery providers down the hallway. As you take a centering breath or two, hear now these words of invocation. The stories of this season are not new ones. We've heard these tales before. We've seen the nativities, watched the plays, sung the songs, witnessed the children act it out. The stories of this season are not new ones, yet we long to hear them as if they are. So spark our spirits awake, call forth awareness, attention, and reverence in us. Allow us to hear today's ancient tale with brand new ears. Friends, come and be welcome. You are joyfully called to worship.
As we light our sanctuary chalice this morning, those joining on Zoom are invited to light a chalice or candle near you to connect us more deeply with one another. We light this chalice as a symbol of our free faith. We light this chalice to remember the miracle of the oil that burned for 8 days. We light this chalice to mark the nights of midwinter. We light this chalice as we wait for the sun to return.
And we light our community candle this morning in solidarity with our Somali community members here in Maine and the hundreds of people that rallied in support of them yesterday up in Lewiston in response to words coming from our capital that I will not repeat. Will you take a breath with me?
In a world full of fear, where do you see glimmers of joy?
I see glimmers of joy in birthday candles and homemade cards. I see joy in the laughter of children and the delight of grandparents. I see joy in meals around the table and in the singing of holiday songs.
You are right. Even in a fearful world, joy is all around us.
Today we light the candle of joy as a reminder of this good news. May the flicker of light help us remember that even in a fearful world, joy is here. Joy is real. We only have to look for it.
Our opening hymn this morning is Hope is a Candle. It is in your order of service if you read music, and if you don't and you just read words, it's up on the screen. Dale will play it through once, and then you're invited to rise in spirit or body as we sing together. This is a story that some of us know well. It's gonna get louder. This is a story that some of us know well and others not so much. A long, long time ago, there was a king named Antiochus. He ruled a land where many Jewish people lived, people who lived their lives according to Jewish custom, ritual, and tradition. These Jewish ancestors worshiped at the ancient temple in the city of Jerusalem. The temple was the holiest of holy places for them, the center of Jewish life. But the king did not want to rule over a nation of many religions, many cultures. He did not share our Unitarian Universalist value of pluralism. He wanted to rule one nation with one religion and one culture. He wanted all the people of his land to live and pray the way that he did, according to Greek customs, and this meant he did not want the Jewish people to practice their customs and their culture. And so, as kings do, he abolished the practice of Judaism, forbade them from observing and celebrating their holy days and festivals, and did not allow them to read or study the Torah, their sacred text. But perhaps worst of all, the king turned their holy temple into a place that became very unholy. He made a real mess of their sacred space. And they were no longer allowed to practice their religion in their own sacred space. So many Jewish people were afraid for their lives. So because they were afraid, they followed the king's orders, as we often do when we're afraid. But one group of Jewish people, the Maccabees, decided they would not submit to the king any longer. They would not worship a God that was not their God. They were small in number. But the Maccabees were determined to defend their religious freedom, so they fought, and they were victorious over the king's army. Now, the Maccabees successfully took back their temple, but they were heartbroken when they entered to discover it was in shambles, a hot mess. So they got to work cleaning it and purifying it, and as they prepared to rededicate the temple, Hanukkah means dedication, they realized there was only a tiny little bit of oil to light the lamp of the eternal flame, which should be lit at all times. They had planned to hold this rededication ceremony, but would there be enough oil? The answer was no. There was definitely not enough oil. They only had enough oil for one day, but they had faith. They had faith. So they lit the lamp anyway, might as well. And miraculously, one day turned into 2, which turned into 3 and 4 and 5. And do we know how many days this turned into? 8. And by the time the 8th night rolled around, the messenger who they had sent to get more oil was back with a big supply. Now, Jewish people all over the world light the menorah for 8 nights in a row to honor this miracle that occurred so many years ago. That's the story. And after the situation began to unfold in Gaza in 2023, this story felt in some ways to us complicated because emphasis on Jewish military victory is fraught. The reality, though, is it was actually the Christians who canonized the story of the Maccabees' military victory, not the Jews. The rabbis of the Talmud created the miracle of the light part of the story in order to de-emphasize the military victory. My Jewish UU colleague, Ellie Kilpatrick, shared words of reflection to help us make meaning of this story in light of all that is going on. She said, beginning to cleanse the desecrated temple is a reminder that violence is desecration, that our light must be something else. To me, she says, the occupation is a desecration of the metaphoric temple that is the Jewish faith. It goes against everything we believe. Hanukkah is a simple miracle and one that spreads. May our peace and our love spread to cleanse the desecration of all of our faiths. May we remember we were strangers. We are strangers. May we be the welcome we wish we had received. So in that spirit, in the spirit of miraculous lights, reminding us of what matters most, I invite up Aaron, who will introduce this morning's lamplighter.
So actually, I'm going to be introducing the lamplighter. So where is it? Where's it on here? Where?
Right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I don't see it.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
I invite those doing RE to follow. Wait. In a few moments, some of us will leave the sanctuary to enjoy religious education programming. But first, I invite our lamplighter, Alice, to join me in the pulpit. A lamplighter is entrusted to transfer the light of the sanctuary chalice to the lamp and then go forth to RE spaces where they will light the chalices there. I invite those doing RE to follow the lamplighter as we carry the flame, expanding our sacred space.
Would you join me in the spirit of prayer? Spirit who calls us. If you tapped on my shoulder today, would my knees shake? Would my mind race? Would my voice waver? Or, knowing the stories of all the faithful folks you've called before, would I be ready? Would I be brave enough to follow? Would I hear your call for what is? Would I reply, let it be me? It's hard to know. But what I do trust is that you, love, are a power who calls. You have called ordinary people throughout all of time. You have called artists and activists, poets and prophets, teachers and healers, young and old alike. So as we move through this world, open our ears to hear your voice. As we move through this world, open our hearts to the invitations, the inspiration, and the nudges you place in our lives. As we move through this world, allow us to hear whatever call you have in store for us this season. For no matter how big or how small, we trust that you are a calling, inviting, nudging, inspiring spirit who sees us each and all in the best light. With hope, we lean forward, we listen for the still small voice, and we say, Amen.
Time in our service where we engage in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts support the ministries of this congregation and our work in the broader community. Each week, 1/3 of our offering is given away to a local nonprofit organization doing work to advance our shared values in the world. This month's Share the Plate recipient, however, is a little different. In December, we share our offering with the A2U2 Minister's Discretionary Fund, which provides confidential emergency financial assistance for church members and friends. You can learn more through the e-news or by asking Rev Tara, and can access the fund by contacting Rev Tara directly. Donations can be made now as the basket is passed through the donate button on our website, or if you're a member on Breeze. If you are visiting us for the first time this morning, please know that your presence is your gift to us. At this time, our offering will be collected and gratefully received.
You're welcome to join in on us. The words to the songs are going to be on the screen. Terry will sing the verse. You'll sing the refrain with these folks up here, and you get 3 cracks at the Spanish.
The following is a true story from Rabbi Lawrence Kushner's 1996 book, Invisible Lines of Connection. A light snow was falling, kind of like today, and the streets were crowded with people. It was Munich in Nazi Germany. One of my rabbinic students, Shifra Penzias, told me that her great aunt, Susie, had been riding in a city bus home from work when SS stormtroopers suddenly stopped the coach and began examining the identification papers of the passengers. Most were annoyed, but a few were terrified. Jews were being told to leave the bus and get into a truck around the corner. My student's great aunt watched from her seat in the rear as the soldiers systematically worked their way down the aisle. She began to tremble, tears streaming down her face. When the man next to her noticed that she was crying, he politely asked her why. "I don't have the papers you have. I am a Jew. They're going to take me." The man exploded with disgust. He began to curse and scream at her. "You stupid woman," he roared. I can't stand being near you." The SS man asked what all the yelling was about. "Damn her," the man shouted angrily. "My wife has forgotten her papers again. I'm so fed up. She always does this." The soldiers laughed and moved on. My student said that her great aunt never saw the man again. She never even knew his name.
Rabbi Kushner continues, "You are going about your business when you stumble onto something that has your name on it. Or to be more accurate, a task with your name on it finds you. Its execution requires inconvenience, self-sacrifice, even risk. You step forward and encounter your destiny. This does not mean you must do everything that lands on your doorstep, or that you should assume every risk or make every self-sacrifice. But it does mean that you must tell yourself the truth about where you have been placed and why. You do not exercise your freedom by doing what you want. Self-indulgence is not an exercise of freedom, but when you accept the task that life seems to have set before you, you become free. Perhaps the only exercise of real freedom comes from doing what you were meant to do all along. If everything is connected to everything else, then everyone is ultimately responsible for everything. The more we comprehend our mutual interdependence, the more we fathom the implications of our most trivial acts. We find ourselves within a luminous organism of sacred responsibility, even on a bus in Munich. On December 2nd, 1993, in Billings, Montana, far from Munich, a 5-year-old boy named Isaac Schneitzer lit the candles on his menorah and placed it on his bedroom windowsill, a mitzvah. In the glow of the candlelight, a rock came flying through the window, shattering the glass. An attack by a group of anti-Semitic white supremacists. You may have heard this story before. As a response to that act of violence, the local paper, the Billings Gazette, printed large images of a menorah that people all across Billings put in their windows for the remainder of the holiday season in solidarity with the Jewish community. Without words, they said hate has no home here. When Isaac walked through town, he was reminded that he had a whole community behind him. It may not sound like a radical act to us today in our context. We do that kind of stuff all the time. But in the 90s, in predominantly white Christian Montana, it really was. Violence like this, hate crimes, are often not actually about physically harming people. They are psychological tactics. They are about making people scared, eliciting fear. Perpetrators pick a particular target with an intended impact of making an entire group or community anxious, confused, fearful, avoidant, and distrustful. And it works. It works really well. We see it happen these days on a daily basis. And still, even in the face of fear, we have options. Someone decided to print those menorahs in the paper, and someone who normally wouldn't have put one up in their window. I imagine those decisions did not come without fear. Less fear, of course, than the Billings Jewish community carried, or really just a totally different kind of fear entirely. But still, there were real potential consequences to be afraid of. If I use my newspaper, my business, and my livelihood to print these images, what might happen to the paper, to me, and my family should the wrong people get angry about it? If I align myself with my Jewish neighbors, though I perhaps have Christian privilege, what if I become a target and my home gets vandalized, my child harassed? Something had to happen to move that community from fear to action. That's what we're exploring today. What is it? What is it that calls us forward into values-aligned, ethical, loving action and faithfulness and courage when there is no sure certainty things will work out, and when we are afraid? Fear is all throughout the sacred stories we tell this time of year. It's the backdrop of it all. In the early days of humanity, up toward the Arctic Circle, it is said that around the time of the winter solstice, people genuinely feared the sun would never return and the world would fall into darkness forever. In the story of the Maccabees, when they re-entered the temple and began to clean it up as an act of reclamation and rededication, they knew they must light the Ner Tamid, the eternal flame, but they only had a small jar of oil, enough for one day. After the oppression they had faced, forced either to submit to the worship of Greek gods or be killed, they yearned in fear for the light of the eternal flame to once again illuminate their sacred space and remind them of the omnipresence of Yahweh, their God. In their fear, they sent some poor messenger to go fetch more oil, having no clue how long that might take. In their fear, they lit the Ner Tamid anyway. What is it? What is it that calls us forward into values-aligned, ethical, loving action and faithfulness and courage when there is no sure certainty that things will work out and we are afraid? Let's go back to the analysis of Reverend Dr. Boyoung Lee, who we heard from 2 weeks ago, talking about fear in the time of Herod. When the angel Gabriel appears to Mary and tells her she's pregnant, her response is not immediate acceptance, but confusion, resistance, and fear. Lee writes, and she continues, Mary is not simply puzzled. She is shook, thrown off balance, possibly, probably afraid for her life, and with good reason. Mary was young, unmarried, and living under the weight of imperial and patriarchal control. To be told without warning that she would bear a child by divine initiative wasn't just a spiritual shock, it was a profound social and bodily risk. Her yes, then, cannot be read as simplistic or naive. It emerges from a complex matrix of vulnerability, trust, and survival. That's why it matters that Mary questions, how can this be? This question, how can this be, is not doubt. It is agency. It is a boundary drawn around her body, a claim to her own understanding before offering consent. Gabriel doesn't admonish her. He offers instead a promise. God will be with you. Mary thinks about it and offers her consent. This is not fear erased, reflects Lee, but fear acknowledged and moved through, a choice made with trembling faith. It's not a heroic yes. It's a quiet resolve to move forward, not with certainty, but with open hands and the courage to say yes, a holy, hesitant yes that dares to trust. What is it? What is it that calls us forward into values-aligned, ethical, loving action and courage when there is no guarantee of our success and when we are afraid? In Daring Greatly, social scientist and author Brené Brown posits that our willingness to own and engage with our vulnerability determines the depth of our courage and the clarity of our purpose. The level to which we protect ourselves from being vulnerable is a measure of our fear and disconnection. Something draws us not out or around or under or over, but through our vulnerability and our fear in the direction of wholeness. In faith spaces, we use the word call, to be called. And I can't name for any of you what it is that calls you into the deepest manifestation of who you can be in this lifetime, into alignment with your core values and deepest, most cherished beliefs, that acts as the magnetic force between your heart and the world beyond your skin. It might be your faith, however you describe it, your ancestors, your interdependence with all that is, perhaps it is God, love with a capital L. I do not know what calls you. I only know that we are a people who are called. I know that we are a people who are called, that at the core of the human heart is a yearning for love, for justice, for connection, for union with all that is good and holy and whole. In Rabbi Kushner's words, when a task with your name on it finds you, its execution sometimes requires inconvenience, self-sacrifice, even risk. You step forward and encounter your destiny. And you must tell yourself the truth about where you have been placed and why. What fear are you carrying? What invitation are you resisting because you feel inadequate? What would it mean to say yes, not fearlessly, but faithfully? We won't always say yes, and we won't always be called to say yes. But let us not forget the meaning of the Hebrew word Hanukkah, dedication. Just as the temple was rededicated, let us rededicate ourselves, our lives to love's call on our hearts. We do not have to know how it all, or any of it, will turn out. We are not disqualified by fear. We only have to take the first breath in and out, to take the first step. We only have to begin. So friends, light your candles, whatever candles they might be, and put your light in the window for all to see. May we be so blessed, and may we be a blessing. Let us sing now together with joy in one voice, Light One Candle, number 221 in your gray hymnal and up on the screen. Dale will play it through once, and you're invited to rise on your feet or in your hearts as we sing together. Good work. That one was work. After the benediction and extinguishing our chalice, you are invited to remain seated for a time of reflection and integration while Dale offers the postlude. In a fearful world, may you look for love's spirit. May you reach for each other's hands. May you choose courage whenever you can. And in all things, may you remember that good news is louder than fear. In the name of that love who calls, who sends, and who journeys with, go in peace and be not afraid. Our worship has ended, and our service begins. Go in peace.